You ever sit under the night sky and realize how much of it will never touch? How many stars are already gone before their light even gets here? How every galaxy looks calm from a distance, while tearing itself apart up close, and it makes you question what any of this means, when the universe keeps stretching faster than thought can keep up.
Every night I look up from the city and try to picture what sits beyond the noise, but it always ends with the same thought. We built meaning inside a space that doesn't care. We invented purpose to stay sane. And maybe that's fine. Maybe that's the only way to keep fighting in a universe too large to notice we exist.
Time feels the same way to me, stretched and folded in ways that make no sense. I've seen stars die while others are still being born. I've watched whole ages pass in what felt like a blink. And the more I see, the less I think time moves at all. It just rearranges the order of memories until everything feels like it's happening at once.
Time in Gotham moves differently too. Nights blur into years. Days feel like brief pauses between disasters. Sometimes I catch myself thinking the city's trapped in a loop. The same crimes with new names. The same guilt dressed in better suits. And I wonder if time doesn't move forward here either. It just circles around what it refuses to fix.
Dr. Strange once tried explaining the multiverse to me, said reality splits every time choice and consequence refuse to agree. Entire worlds built from hesitation, whole timelines spun from regret. And I asked him if the versions of us out there are happier than the ones here. He said no one should ever want to find out. Curiosity breaks faster than truth.
There's another Gotham somewhere where I never put on the mask, another where I died trying, another where the city never needed saving. I can't decide if that sounds like peace or punishment. But I know this much. If there are infinite versions of me, they're all still trying to solve something that never ends.
I've flown through corners of creation where physics feels like suggestion, worlds without form, galaxies shaped like sound, planets that communicate through color instead of speech. And I keep thinking intelligence shows up everywhere, but never the same way twice. Like the universe keeps running experiments, trying to remember what it wanted to be.
You've seen everything I've only imagined, yet you sound as tired of it as I am of this city. Maybe the difference between us is scale. You travel through infinity while I patrol 10 square miles. But the feeling's the same, trying to hold together a world that falls apart faster than you can understand it.
That's why Earth fascinates me. No matter how far I go, I haven't found another planet that fights as hard to exist. Your species breaks its own sky, poisons its own oceans, argues over illusions, then still gets up the next day to start again. It's the strangest kind of beauty I've seen. Stubbornness that looks like faith.
Faith's what keeps them from collapsing under the truth that all this, the noise, the wars, the ambition, it's happening on a rock hanging in darkness. I think about that when I stop a mudging or shut down a gang. Small acts of order in a universe made of chaos, it's absurd. But it's the only thing that feels real.
You sound like someone who still believes meaning exists, even if it's self-made. I've met entire civilizations that tried erasing meaning to stop the pain of wanting it. They built logic so perfect it suffocated life, and when I left, all I could think was that pain might be the only proof consciousness ever leaves behind.
Pain built everything I've done, every method, every rule, every obsession. It's not philosophy to me, it's math. One loss equals a lifetime of balance. One tragedy becomes a system. And I think that's why I've never left this planet. I don't trust myself without gravity, keeping the guilt where it belongs.
Gravity has its lessons. It reminds us that nothing drifts forever without consequence. I used to think freedom was distance. The further I went, the more I'd understand. But all I found was silence that started sounding like myself. Turns out distance doesn't give clarity. It just removes mirrors.
I've avoided mirrors most of my life, not because I don't like what I see, but because it reminds me this mission ends with no finish line. Every win resets the board. Every generation learns the same mistakes in new packaging. And it's hard not to laugh at how predictable our chaos is compared to the universe's creativity.
You already understand what most cosmic beings never learn. The universe isn't supposed to make sense. It's supposed to continue. Stars die to feed new ones. Civilizations collapse to leave dust for others to rise. It's not purpose, it's rhythm, and Earth, for all its noise, dances better than most.
Guess that's what makes it worth protecting. Not because it's special, but because it refuses to give up. It keeps creating meaning even when it shouldn't. Maybe the multiverse is full of better versions of us. But this one's enough. Two tired men staring into infinity, still trying to make sense of it over an empty glass.